Good morning from the future. In this video, I forgot to mention, I'm not going to go through all the supplies I used because this was my first time doing this kind of project. So I don't want to give you supplies and then as I go through the project realize that those supplies suck. So this video won't be supplies. Down the road, I'll do like a supplies video after I use a lot of these different markers and paints like over time to let you know what works best. All right, back to the video. All right, so if you don't know, I've never done this before to this extent. Thinking back to when I was a kid, I actually remember adding my mom's like either lipstick or red markers on some of my figures to make them look like they're bleeding. I remember one time I had a Sergeant Savage like 12-inch figure and I tried to make him like different clothes to make him like a ninja. I think I was trying to be like Power Rangers actually, now that I think about it. I was trying to make him a ninja and that kind of stuff. So I only remember this recently while I was watching these videos and I was like, wow, I used to kind of do something like that. So in this video, we're going to do a couple different things, all right? I do feel like a jerk. I have 4 Black Rangers, a gold or a Dragon Shield edition. They sat in Walgreens forever. I remember seeing these like over a year ago and they just been sitting there. And I bought one and then I lost the helmet, so I bought another one. And then I was like, well, maybe my friend will want one. So I bought one for him. Turns out he doesn't need it. And then today I was like, well, I'm going to customize one of these things. Maybe when I need extra parts or maybe when I mess something up. So I bought the last one. So I have all 4 of them. First thing we want to do is I took one of them and I took the Atom head off of the green Zeo, but he has the gold straps here. So a technique I saw online was how to get rid of a color that is on a figure. So I'm going to try that to get rid of that first. If that works, then I know I can use that on other parts of the different figures. So on Atom, I just want to get rid of the gold. Then I have the Mastodon head, or I have the Mastodon helmet, of course. But I want to actually make it look similar to the helmets that came with the Dragon figure. So that's 2 things we're going to do. And then the third is going to actually be trying to customize this figure. And what I'm thinking of is actually making it so like it's almost like he came from the future, or maybe he came from a dimension where Dragon had like already rampaged everything, because you know, I have the Ranger Slayer figure, I have Lord Dragon, I would say Dragon, Lord Dragon, I have his figure, well, one of them, there's a couple different ones. So maybe I'll make this so like he's coming from a world that he actually survived, you know, them doing everything. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna try to weather him up a bit. We're going to modify the axe a little bit and I guess just try to have fun with it. I'm just gonna try different techniques because then I'll use these on some of the other figures going down the road. All right, so let's take a look at some of the stuff that I have purchased. To remove the paint, we have some Q-tip swabs and some nail polish remover. We are good to go there. So let us do the paint removal first, and then we'll try doing some other stuff. All right, so what I definitely don't want to do is get paint off of something else. So I'm going to remove the weapons. All right, so we're gonna take the 100% pure acetane nail polish remover. All right, and from the instructions I saw online, you don't want to rub too hard on the gold. So let's see. Oh yeah, it's actually working. So the other thing that I saw that one of the guys was saying was once you start getting the color off, you don't want to keep smearing it around, because then the gold you've rubbed off starts to get on everything else. So I'm starting to see that already. So this works in this scenario because the figure itself is pure black. So because the figure is pure black and the white and the gold are painted on, that's why when you strip this, it's black underneath. So it sounds silly to say, but it's something you do want to take note of. If you're trying to do this with a figure, what is the figure primarily painted? Like, what's the base coat? And then determine if you can actually do this. However, something I saw as well is if you want to change the entire paint color of a figure, you can just kind of do this throughout. It may be easier to actually buy a different action figure that has like a similar body or whatnot, that maybe has the base coat, and then you just change that. There you go. You've got the lefts with no gold and the right with the gold. So I could always leave one on there and it has like that kind of single earring look to it, but I like it. What I'm not going to do is I'm not going to buff this down. I also saw that too, where people sometimes they'll take a grinding tool or a Dremel and they'll buff down something. So in this case, I'm not going to buff down the band. All right, so the next thing that we're going to do is take this Mastodon helmet and let's try putting the cracks in it so it looks similar to the other helmets. Interesting. The black is painted on here, and this is white. Did not know that. All right. Learning experience on that one. All right, so we are back. Now the shields, I think the best way to battle damage this is actually gonna be with my wood burner that I had from doing cosplay. So I'm gonna do that and then figure out what we're gonna do as far as a paint job is concerned on this. So it definitely needs a good paint job, and I'm thinking we'll do some gold over it and then black wash it. Might be the way to go there. This arm, I think it's going to be beneficial to actually be his skin color. So we're going to want to make a flesh tone color, put that on here, and then we're going to do something with this band so that way it looks like, again, he is covering a wound or something like that. So let's try mixing some colors and get a flesh tone to put on that arm. I'm digging that. I am digging that. That was a good idea. That was a good idea. All right, we'll let him sit for a while. Come back to that. I don't want to get rid of that yet. So, going back to the shield for that. We have a classic gold. That we're gonna use, I don't know, should that be gold? I also got some mold model masters. When I went online to Hobby Lobby, it said that model masters was sold out, and yet I found it. So I think we'll use that for the shield. All right, the model masters is very, very watery, so I'm not sure if it's gonna stick, but we'll give it a shot. Let's try it up here first. Now what I should have done was applied all of this paint on first and then done the battle damage. So then that color, I used to do that with my cosplays. If you paint first and then apply the battle damage, the paint layer or the base layer that you've applied also gets damaged. So it looks a little bit more natural. Very subtle, nothing too major, but I do kind of wish I did that. So what this does is it just gives everything a nice kind of like dirty look. It's great for like, especially if you're doing like a oil look, like they're steel or something like that. You want to get that nice black wash on everything.